Welcome back to the channel. We are about to try the first startup on the 03 Dodge that we picked up in the last video. The batteries in this thing were completely trashed, and like they were so bad that my battery charger wouldn't even turn on. They were just junk. So we got new ones. The terminals are not in the best shape, but they look decent, I guess. So now we have to figure out which one of these. The transmission, no, it didn't fall out. That's the new one I put in.
Oh, you just put
I put it in last night, but the batteries stood out. I couldn't even start it. That's why I had to get the new batteries. But Mason's down there messing with the neutral safety switch. We got to get it bypassed. That way the starter will engage. And we're going to see if this thing will crank over, guys. Now, it might need a starter because it's been sitting for a long time. I don't know how long this thing sat, but the batteries that were in it were from 2014. So you're talking 7 years old. But I think the truck's probably sat for around like a year or two. But it's got oil in it. It's got coolant in it. We just want to make sure this thing will run. I've looked down in the valve cover and I can't see like a lot of moisture or anything. Not really super concerned about it. But yeah, it's going to be loud. The downpipe's unhooked. But we're going to try and see what this thing sounds like if we can get the starter going. Might have to hit it with a hammer or a piece of wood. All right, guys, here we go. First startup. It's been sitting for, if it starts, we don't even know. Uh-oh, that's not good. I thought we stole it.
Yeah.
This is where Corey will have to fix this stuff. Will the engine run?
It runs.
It might just be because the
Probably
trans
'cause
is
the
out.
trans ain't.
Yeah, the trans is out. It's freaking out. It doesn't like us to start it, so we know it runs. Let's probably start it one more time and just check blow by. And I know I saw oil pressure. So let's start it one more time and check for blow by, and then we just won't start it anymore until we have the trans in it.
Okay.
Nice. Oh, that's annoying. Okay, so we know the engine runs, and apparently runs pretty good, man. Doesn't sound bad at all, no blow by, so that's good. But I think it's something to do with the trans being out of it. I mean, you saw his flash. It didn't say, did it say security or did it just say? I don't know. Either way, we're not even going to worry about that. That's an issue we can fix later. We know the engine runs.
We have to. We'll just unhook the horn.
If we have, no, yeah, we have to just unhook the horn. No, I'd say it's probably something to do with, because these do have a key in them, so worst case scenario, we might have to do something with the ignition system to where it doesn't think it's being stolen. But I think it's probably because the transmission is not in the truck at all, and we're basically bypassing the neutral safety switch to start it, so it doesn't like that. But yeah, I'll just do it just one more time, just one quick little. Yeah, it just doesn't like that. It's not saying security, it's just showing everything's flashing. But good oil pressure minus that, so yeah. Now we're gonna jump inside, guys. Now we know this thing runs, and sounds like it runs pretty good. Jump inside the shop and see if we can get the transmission ready to go for this thing. At least give it a good once over before we stick it in. And then we also have a brake line to fix on it, and the dually fender is also falling off as well. It's just kind of chilling on here, so yeah. And then we also need to change this fender out. So I don't know, we might start on that tonight too. But we got a lot of work to do, guys, and we're just gonna dive right into this transmission, checking it out, and then we'll go from there. Yeah, so what happened with this truck, guys, was the transfer case blew up, and I don't, there's no way this is the original transfer case out of it. Look at it, there's no, you can see that it hasn't been apart. But what they were, there's no tool marks on the dust on it. This is a different transfer case, which it should work because it's still electric shift, so. Or maybe it was just, I don't know. Either way, guys, what they said happened was the tail housing of the transfer case exploded. Extremely common with these 271s. And as a result of that, they pulled the transmission out at the same time for some reason to get it gone over, but I don't know. Just clean it really good, like around the sensor, and pull the valve body and then put the new valve body wiring harness in, which is right there. Because that's the whole reason why they bought that, was because this pigtail got broke when they were disassembling it. They even left the torque converter bolted to the flex plate. So we'll have the fun time of getting under there to get that out. That's always sketchy. All right, guys, well, after getting the valve body out, it's not looking so good on the old 48 transmission. She had water in the pan. I don't know if you guys saw that when we pulled the pan off. A bunch of water fell out, and there's actually some stuff starting to rust inside of it. Like you can see behind this drum, there's some rust, so it's probably pretty smart that we just go ahead and rebuild it. By that, I just mean basically pull the clutch packs out. And another problem we're going to run into is the valve body. The piece that actually, there's like a little plunger right here that you actually select the gears with, and it's all bent. So don't really understand how that happened at all. So, I mean, we might be able to fix it, maybe just replace just this top plate and reuse everything else, but we're gonna have to just play this by ear. Like, look at this, I just took it completely out. I don't know, it might be okay. A little bit of gouging on there. So yeah, for now guys, we're gonna probably just go ahead and tear this thing the rest of the way down, pull the pump out. The park rod is so stuck in there, it's not even funny. Get that out, and yeah. All right guys, got the overdrive housing torn apart minus the big spring pack, and you can see all that rust and grime down here. This thing is nasty. This thing might have worked whenever we first put it together, as long as all this stuff would have got caught in the filter, but man, it's a good thing we tore it down, because this stuff right here, like all this grime, that could get clogged up in the ports, and then all it takes, guys, is something small like that, and this thing could have shifting issues, all kinds of problems. So We are gonna have to get a rebuild kit, see if we can fix the valve body, and yeah, that's pretty much it, I think. Rebuild kit, get some new clutches in it, and then get that valve body fixed, and we can put it all together. And we'll probably try and send it on the converter that's in the truck. It's still bolted to the engine, but it's underneath the truck, so there shouldn't have been any water that could got in it. And it should have plenty of transmission fluid still in it, because they didn't. Unless they hooked a water, which at this point, guys, it's hard to say, because I don't know how, unless this thing literally sat outside in the rain, how it got this much water in it. But it's all tore down, so we'll get all this stuff cleaned up, and yeah, we'll pretty much be ready to put it all back together. Probably be a minute, guys, before we do another video on this thing, just because mainly the next video I'd like to get to where we can put the transmission in the truck, but this first engine's gonna be here for a minute, so I don't know. Maybe now we'll jump on switching the fender out and getting this dually fender figured out. All right, guys, now that the trans is over here and all tore down, we'll be waiting on some parts and basically just figuring out what we're gonna do, find a used trans, fix this one, I don't know yet. We're gonna try and get the dually fender bolted back on this thing. So we think that this one is not the original one. I think that they've purchased this one for it because the original one was cracked and they never did anything with it. First, got to get these things soaked with some PB Blaster, or Rural King brand PB Blaster. Inside.
Try it.
We could always get the grinder out here and cut a little slice in them. You know what I mean? Cut a little slice in them and then hold it with a flathead, maybe. Try a 3/8 extension too. Might as well pack it up. Getting ready to rain. Well, unfortunately, guys, it is starting to rain, and I pretty much put the stop to this. This is a reason why I need a bigger barn. The 24x40 just doesn't do it. Can't have more than one truck tore down at one time. Definitely sucks, but it is what it is. Without further ado, guys, that's gonna wrap up the end of this video. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and we'll see you guys in the next one.